Alright, guys, welcome back to Doctor Who episode reviews. Yeah, finally on time with this one. Kind of. So, anyway, let's talk about the new Doctor Who episode, Under the Lake. Now, Under the Lake, I kind of said that it reminded me of the idea of, excluding the ghosts and all that, excluding the ghosts. The episode synopsis almost sounded a lot like the Fifth Doctor episode, Sea Devils. And reason being was the whole underwater nuclear facility being attacked by an unknown enemy. I was like, this reminds me a lot of the Sea Devils. Hopefully, it's not as terrible. And thankfully, it's not. While it does have like almost the same tone, well, the same kind of almost story plot to it. Thankfully, it's not the Sea Devils. And I gotta say, it's actually a fun episode. This was a nice episode. I think it was a nice starter, and it's a very horror-based episode. It almost reminded me a little bit of BioShock with the whole underwater horror theme. So, I really enjoyed that. Now, a few things with this episode really stuck out to me in a good way. Toby Whitehouse really knows how to play up the horror element. I know he wrote The God Complex, and he wrote several other episodes, and he really knows how to write, the horror aspect of Doctor Who, and kind of give it a really cool sci-fi feel to it. So, let's start off with the ghosts. The ghosts are actually kind of creepy. They are very creepy. That whole empty, those eye sockets that you can see all the way back to the skull, and the whisper in, the motion, the mouth moving. It's very creepy. And again, this episode is very atmospheric with the whole underwater feeling of the setting of the nuclear, underwater facility, and it really drove home that there is no place to run except the TARDIS. But yeah, I really like that. The supporting cast is pretty good too. I like where they go with it. I really enjoy the character of Cass, who, despite having this disability of being deaf, she was, the commanding officer and probably the smartest member of the group, and I really liked how she played off the Doctor the most. I really enjoyed that. Clara did not irritate me in this episode, thank God, but what I did find interesting, and maybe they'll come back to it in the second part, is that, and even the Doctor brings this up in his own way, that Clara is acting a little too much like him. She is pretty much becoming a little too much like him, where she wants adventures and monsters and all that, and she's almost getting excited by the idea of fighting these enemies, fighting monsters. And he even, in his own way, says, like, look, there's only room for one me in the universe. I hope you understand that. In his own way of saying, don't become me. I don't want you to be me. Now, the other thing I'm pretty sure some people are going to hate is that the Doctor convinces people to come with him. He convinces, people to travel with him, on this adventure rather than try to get them to safety. If this was like Matt Smith's Doctor, or Tennant's Doctor, or even Eccleston's Doctor, really, yeah, these other Doctors would, those other past three Doctors would be more like, let's get you out. Well, Eccleston's Doctor would be like, I don't give a fuck about you. Depending on how far in the series, in his season was, he'd basically be like, you, fuck you. I'm the Doctor. I don't care if you live or die. But if it was the 10th or 11th Doctor, they'd be more like, yeah, I'm going to get you to safety, then come back and figure out what the hell's going on. These ghosts are using, whatever is creating these ghosts, is using them like a signal, and I don't want to make that signal bigger, and I want to save lives. So yeah, everyone in the TARDIS, and then I'll come back and deal with this. So, but you have to understand that the 12th Doctor is not like, that's the beauty of, regeneration, is that every Doctor is not like the Doctor, the previous Doctor, obviously. And, Capaldi's Doctor is a very old, very haggard Doctor. He's over 2,000 years old, and he's kind of a Doctor who's just like, he's gone back to his more alien roots, something along the lines of like Baker or McCoy, who have these very, very, well, actually more Colin Baker, that's kind of what I compare, the 12th Doctor, is that he does have the, the brash heroicness of the, the third Doctor, but at the same time he has that kind of, arrogance and, superiority that the Sixth Doctor has. In some ways, he's almost like a well-dressed Colin Baker. Yeah. But, anyway. So, yeah, I kind of see that the 12th Doctor's like, he's trying to convince them to come along with him. Because, again, this Doctor doesn't seem to understand that, so he does understand that, human lives, are, great and all that. But on the other hand, he's like, I'm kind of just like, more like, I want to live for adventure, and I'm a rock star. Yeah. So, among other things with this episode, the ghosts were pretty cool, like I said. The theme of it was very cool. The idea of having these ghosts being these souls being trapped in like this almost like hellish purgatory just to boost a signal to whoever is supposed to be found. I'm guessing it's that ugly ass, not Zygon monster we've seen in the previews. Seriously, it almost looks like a Zygon, but I know it's not a Zygon. It almost looks like it in design. But yeah, I also love how the Doctor just comes to the conclusion that, oh, they're ghosts, and everyone's like, you just said there's no such thing as ghosts, and then he responds with, well, there was a time when there was no such thing as socks, or the radio, and, he kept saying stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, he's got a point. So, it's literally like the first time for everything. So, I thought that was hilarious, that he just went back on his word, and he couldn't care less that he's wrong. Sorry, I had to get some water. But, what else did I want to say about this episode? Again, the horror aspect of this episode was felt there. The claustrophobic feel that the empty hallways gave, those were great. And the mystery of the signal was pretty cool, too. I kind of figured that, the writing on the spaceship at the beginning of the episode, I was like, those are probably going to be coordinates or something else profane. And for a split second when they're talking about the Temple and the Forsaken, there was like a split second in the back of my mind going, is this how they're bringing back Sutekh? Because again, Temple, Forsaken, I was like, what's Sutekh doing at the bottom of a river? But you never know. I mean, Davros came back at the first 2 episodes of this season for unknown reasons. We're not going to explain them, but whatever, he's back. So, for like a split second, I was like, this makes sense. I mean, he's a dark, godlike being who, manipulates people, and he could probably have command over life and death, so, yeah. But then, obviously it's probably not Sutekh. For like a split second, I was like, are they bringing back Sutekh? Yeah, I hope they bring back Sutekh somewhere down the road. I mean, we're getting Odin this season. We're apparently getting Odin this season, so why can't we have, Sutekh back? And I know someone's going to say, well, we technically brought him back as the Great Beast in Series 2, and yeah, the original voice actor for Sutekh was in there, but it wasn't really Sutekh. I'd really like to see, the great evil Siren from Pyramids of Mars. Anyway, I'm getting on a tangent. All in all, this is a really good episode. Again, a nice little horror-based episode, and it's a great start. And that cliffhanger was just like, holy shit. That was a pretty good cliffhanger, and yeah, I gotta give credit where credit is due. That ending made me go, oh, how's he gonna get out of this one? It's kind of like the same thing. I actually had an inkling of how the Doctor was going to get out of that situation in the previous one. I kind of figured that, the Doctor was going to prove to Davros that compassion is not a weakness, and, he was going to save the kid no matter what. So, there, I kind of had an inkling of, that's how he's probably going to do it, and that was, for the lack of a better word, right. But in here, I'm like, how the hell is he going to get out of this one? So, all in all, really, really excited to see where this episode's going to go. So, absolutely excited. But tongue-tied. So you guys tell me, what did you all think of this episode? Did you guys like it? Did you guys hate it? Just comment below, let me know. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this review, and I will see you guys later.